You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889. Thank you for listening to Community Forum. My name's Johnny Chandler. I'm the owner of KCCC 930 AM and the host of Community Forum. And with me today is Carlsbad Mayor Janway and Danny Fletcher, community advocate for sure, involved in just about everything, and as well as, what is your title today, Danny, for the Master of Ceremonies? Is that what we're calling it?
I'm the Master of Ceremonies, and I'm chairman of the Energy Summit.
Chairman of the Energy Summit, Master of Ceremonies. Thank you, Danny, for being here. Mayor, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
Good, great. So the Mayor's Carlsbad Energy Summit, that's the official name, right, 2022?
That's right.
All right, great. And it's such a big event for the state every year. It's obviously a huge event for Carlsbad. And so what we want to do is we want to tell everybody about it, how they can be involved, and more importantly, just why our city and our community supports the oil and gas industry so much.
Well, I could start off if you want me to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And talk about a little bit about the history.
Okay, let's do that.
Back 10, 11 years ago, it's the beginning of the oil boom, and it was just at the very beginning. And Orrin and Steve McCutcheon and I, we were sitting around one day, and where are we? And from that was the beginning of the Energy Summit.
So we've been doing this for 10 years. Is this the 10-year anniversary?
This is the 10th.
So that's a big anniversary, and you've been involved since the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We said, the main thing we want to know is what can the experts tell us about. We've had all of the top energy experts in the country, including the biggest one, I guess, was T. Boone Pickens.
Oh, okay.
He made some pretty good predictions.
So
anyway, it's been very good.
Right. So, Mayor, so this is our 10th anniversary this year, and you've been involved since the very beginning.
We started it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think you mentioned T. Boone Pickens and how he had some really great predictions. So if you could tell me, this is my first interview on the Energy Summit.
Yes.
I did attend last year's. It was a great event. I learned a lot that day. The speaker that we had was pretty good as well. Who was the speaker last year again?
We had numerous speakers.
Okay. Who was the celebrity speaker?
It was Dallas Cowboy, Tony Dorsett.
There you go, Tony Dorsett. I don't know why that name went out of my head. But so we have some really great speakers all the time. You learned a lot. Real high-level executives talking, showing up at this conference and speaking to us about the future of the industry.
Yeah, usually the heads of the industry.
So let me ask you a question. Why do the heads of the industry attend a summit in Carlsbad, and why do they feel like this summit is so important for them?
Well, I think that they see the summit here in Carlsbad. Yeah, we are the epicenter of the...
Right, so, as a result of us being in the Permian Basin, and the future is based on what they see in the Permian Basin and how much energy there is to provide our nation, that just makes Carlsbad a real hub for it.
Yeah, we are the sweet spot in the world.
Yeah, I think New Mexico is very lucky, even though maybe others up north don't appreciate that. New Mexico is very lucky to be in the position that they are with this.
We provide a great amount to the budget every year.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Industry.
Yeah, majority, actually almost all the budget, we'll say.
Yeah.
I was like, we'll safely say that. So, yeah. Mayor, before we turn to Danny on what his role is and everything that's going to be happening at the summit that day, why don't you go ahead and, if you could, go through the list of sponsors for us, because without these sponsors, none of this is possible.
We have the title sponsor, Chevron, who's done that for many years. Platinum sponsors are Devon, XTO, Crestwood, Oxy, and Target Hospitality. The gold sponsors are ConocoPhillips, Summit Midstream, Double E Pipeline, Carr Riggs and Ingram, Capitan, Bobcat TCS, Santo Petroleum, XL Energy, Marathon Oil, and Eris Water. Silver sponsors are Intrepid Potash, Manicuria Insurance, Holtec, Phlogistic, American Petroleum Institute, Hub, and Select Energy. Exhibits, CNB Bank, Western Commerce Bank, Expanse Electrical, Brewer Oil, Merle Electric, Croston Ranch Master Plan Community, Houston Property Rentals, Coterra, Industrial Tax Consulting, Pioneer Bank, and TS Nono. In-kind sponsors, Fairfield, La Quinta, Sleep In, Carlsbad Radio, KCCC Radio, MTD Radio, The Country Giant, Pecos Valley Broadcasting, Albertsons, and McDonald's. And community partners, City of Carlsbad, Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, Carlsbad Department of Development, Eddy County, and Carlsbad Community Foundation.
So I'll go ahead and forgive Carlsbad Radio being listed before my radio station on the In-Kind sponsorship website, but I know how influential and how great they are for the community, and it's just good to see that all of the broadcasting agencies here in the area come out for this and participate and help out in some way.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Danny, as the Master of Ceremonies, the chairman of the committee for the Energy Summit, where do you want to go next? How do you want to get into this? This is not your first year doing this either, I don't believe.
Actually, it's my 6th year.
Your 6th year doing it, okay.
6th year doing it. The Energy Summit's really grown since Orrin Means and Steve McCutcheon, the mayor, started it. Of course, T. Boone Pickens that year was the biggest summit. Of course, it was T. Boone Pickens. We've been trying to get someone like him ever since. Orrin Means keeps giving me a hard time that I haven't beat his attendance record. But we're going to have a good crowd. We've got some great speakers. And this whole thing is about educating the area, Carlsbad, the residents. I mean, it's free to the residents to come to the summit. And the speakers that we have are immersed in this energy stuff. I mean, some of the best speakers in the industries we have here. And I'm just going to brag. I hope our folks over in Hobbs and Roswell and stuff don't get bad. But our summit here has really been the premier summit. The other cities have tried to hold an energy summit.
Right.
And, maybe lucky you get 100 people. We get over 1,000 people or more.
Right.
Because we have some high knowledgeable speakers at this place who are, like I said, immersed in the industry. And besides that, it's a lot of fun. The vendors give away a bunch of stuff, so you can go around and get a lot of goodies from them, got a lot of good information. And it's really an educational conference, but it's also a show, too. I mean, if you're, like the mayor said, we are smack dab. We are the epicenter of the Permian Basin and all this. So Carlsbad is real important to the whole formula here.
Right. Anybody who's anybody in the oil industry or in this industry in general absolutely needs to go to the summit. That's no question.
Absolutely, and a lot of them do. A lot of people from not only our state, Texas, and the surrounding states. A lot of executives from down around Houston area, they all fly in on that particular day. You'll probably see several private jets out at the airport. This has really become the premier energy summit, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Matter of fact, one of the most we got a great committee. And I bet there's 30 people on that committee, and we got some real powerhouses. People, representatives from all the oil and gas companies, and just a lot of people participating. But this gentleman right here, he's really the heartbeat. That's Kyle Marksteiner.
Right. So Carl Marksteiner is now joining us, which we appreciate. Kyle, how are you today?
Hey, Johnny, how's it going?
Good. We're glad you're here. How many years have you been involved in the Energy Summit?
Since the beginning. I think they invited me to that first breakfast meeting at Denny's where they were discussing it. And, I mean, like the mayor said, we had oil and gas in Carlsbad, but probably not quite as extensive maybe as Hobbs or Artesia. We were more of a potash, whip, and things like that. And so all of a sudden it just escalated considerably. And, while it's cyclical, it has stayed escalated throughout that cycle. And
right.
So all of a sudden, these executives from Chevron and Exxon and whatnot were, like Danny said, flying their planes into Carlsbad. And so it was a very good call by the mayor and the other gentleman he mentioned to say, we need to try to get a little rope around this. The other thing it really does, in addition to being educational, in addition to being fun, is, it brings these vice presidents and presidents of these major companies under one roof with members of city council, county commissioners, school board members, Carlsbad residents. They don't have to be an elected official. They can be anybody. And this is a huge area. This is where millions and billions of dollars are being generated every year. And so I think having an event like this once a year where you get all those people together is extremely important and appropriate. And it coming to Carlsbad, coming out, Mr. Vice President in Houston or Dallas or Oklahoma or whatever, come on out, shake hands with people, have a meal with people, you know, and let's get together. And so beyond everything, we've talked about this before, if we didn't have a single speaker, didn't have a single everything, just the fact that everybody's getting together under one roof is probably the most important thing.
Okay, so we have a robust agenda on October 20th. This is at the Walter Gerald's Performing Arts Center Annex. That's at 4012 National Parks Highway Anybody that's local knows what that is without the address, but I'll say it anyways. So we have a very robust agenda. We're going to start with Master of Ceremonies, Danny Fletcher. Danny, I attended last year's. You do a really great job. You really corral everybody.
Thank you.
You really kick the event off. Then we're going to have a presentation of the colors by the Carlsbad Veterans Honor Guard, which I always love to see, and you really can't kick off an event unless you have the Honor Guard there.
Oh, yeah, and they do a great job. They're really sharp.
Absolutely. Star Spangled Banner will be by Deanna Geringer.
And we had 47 people correct us at our last planning meeting.
Yes.
It's pronounced Dina Geringer.
Dina.
Okay, thank you.
Even though it's spelled Deanna, it's Dina.
And she's wonderfully talented.
Yes, she is.
Good. I'm glad that we got that right, by the way, for sure. The opening prayer is by Pastor Gabe Rubio.
Yes.
I pronounced that right, from the Oasis Christian Church. Beautiful building they have, too.
They did, and they bought Danny and my former employer next to them, the former Chronargus building.
They did.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Good for them. Then, obviously, the introduction by Carlsbad Mayor Dale Janway. He really does a great job, and I did not know that he was involved from the beginning of this, so I think that I think that that's great.
Yeah, he was the one that blessed it. I mean, I think, again, Orrin and Steve brought it to him, and Mayor, being as sharp as he is, says, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, and then we have Public Lands Commissioner Stephanie Garcia Richard.
Yeah, and as I think the oil companies are especially interested in this, that is arguably as important a position in the state as the governor. Commissioner of Public Lands is a huge position. There's a lot of public lands in New Mexico, and so, yeah, their office did contact us and asked us for 3 to 5 minutes to just talk about the amount of revenue that's been generated through the public lands and everything. So we're happy to accommodate them.
I mean, everybody should probably know, and if they don't, we'll tell you right now that, I mean, if you're curious as to what funds our public schools.
Exactly.
Right? And so it's really nice to see Stephanie Garcia Richard as an elected official come down here and recognize what's helping the state so much.
It is.
And it's an opportunity. This whole sum is an opportunity to separate fact from fiction.
Right.
There's a lot of innuendos and comments and arguments that just aren't true.
Right.
And these are industry leaders. They'll give it to us straight.
Right. I appreciate that very much.
And it is, it's an election season. In fact, it's about a week or two before the election. And so, but we have incumbents from both sides. We have challengers from both sides coming to the event to listen. And I mean, let's be honest, they're also coming to the event to walk around and try to get people to vote for them.
Right, of course.
But they're certainly welcome. So we have a good bipartisan list on both sides attending, and then up to and including, the state treasurer's coming. We've got different senators and representatives coming. That's always really been a focus. Come on down and see where the money for your state is made.
Dan, you want to go down the list of speakers for us here?
Sure. Well, right after the Public Land Commissioner, our first panel, which is going to be moderated by Missy Courier. A lot of people know Missy here in town. She's excellent. She'll moderate this panel, and it's industry organizations, the head of the industries, like Doug Ackerman, President and CEO of New Mexico Oil and Gas Association, Jim Winchester, Executive Director of the Independent Petroleum Associates of New Mexico, and Ben Shepard, President of the Permian Basin Petroleum Association. And the title of that panel is Industry Efforts and Successes Through Trade Associations. So it's going to be an excellent panel.
So just a side note on that, Jim Winchester, the Executive Director of the Independent Petroleum Associates of New Mexico, I spent a decade at KRQE Channel 13 in Albuquerque, and I worked with him when he was a reporter at Channel 13. Yeah, Jim Winchester and I, we've gone skiing. We go back quite a ways. I couldn't think of a better person to be the executive director of that association. So I look forward to seeing him as well. But yeah, Jim and I go way back.
Yeah, and of course these are trade association leaders, and most everybody that's in the industry belongs to one of these, if not all of the associations. So we're looking forward to seeing what they have to say. Right after that, we have innovative approaches to a workforce shortage. We got a workforce shortage around here, if anybody hadn't noticed. And, of course, the oil field and the energy sector is feeling it, too. So Sandy Guy, she's a partner at Human, she's got to talk about Human Capital, but she's part of Card, Riggs, and Ingram, right, Kyle?
Yeah, and they've been great partners with us for many years. If you look at our sponsor list, most of them are oil companies. Well, CRI is an accounting firm, and so it's kind of cool having a different perspective, having their look at it, and they've just been so enthusiastic about wanting to help in this area and get invested in this area.
The innovative approaches to a workforce shortage. Why don't you tell me a little bit about Sandy Guy?
Well, go on, Kyle. Sandy's got a really good presentation. She gave us a little synopsis about it, and it's specifically for the energy sector. And they've done some research and got some information and some ideas to share with the energy folks out there in the companies.
Yeah, her title is Partner Human Capital, which is a modern way of saying Human Resource HR Director. But Carvings and Ingrams is a huge firm. She's flying in for this, and we're very excited to have her.
All right, what's next on the list, Danny?
Well, we got Hanson Yates, the part of the Yates family up in Artesia there. And if you've never heard Hanson speak, he's an excellent speaker and so knowledgeable about this industry. And his topic is going to be Southeast New Mexico drilling through the decades. And if anybody would know that, would be that family.
Yeah, it's a historical reference. I mean, it's kind of almost an academic. As the mayor said, our focus is tell us what's happening next. But to do that, we obviously, not to sound like a wise man here, but we need to know where we came from. So.
Right, yeah, absolutely, of course. The next presentation after that is Midstreams in the Basin.
It's the chief operating officer of Crestwood Midstream Partners is going to be there, and I know I'm going to mess his name up. Can you help me here, Kyle?
No,
we're going to have to make sure we get his name right. But
well, let me be the one to mess it up.
Okay,
then, since it could be on me, I'm going to go with Diaco Aviki.
I think that's pretty close.
All right,
yeah.
Cool.
And Midstream's one of the biggest operators, so he's the chief operating officer, so he probably's got some insight where the energy.
And that's another thing. We've added some of the midstreams lately, and instead of just having the big oil companies, Chevron, Exxon, et cetera, the midstreams do a lot of the other stuff. They do the pipelines. They do and Crestwood is another huge one operating out of this area and one of our sponsors. And so as we talk about this package that's happening in this area, we definitely want to include them as part of that discussion. And so we're very happy to have them. I think they bring something to the table. I think last year we received a lot of feedback that it was really good, including some of the midstream, so we can get a little bit of a different point of view.
And I think that just goes to the reach and the economic impact that the oil and gas industry has in our county as well. Right? It's not just guys working the rigs and companies based in Houston that are getting all the benefit of it.
Exactly. And that's what's happened here, interestingly enough, is and compared to Hobbs as a very dominant service industry. And Carlsbad, we almost kind of skipped that phase. And I think the bigger companies, the big oil companies kind of came here and started opening their offices. And now some of those service companies and midstream companies and whatnot are growing in this area. So we kind of almost went in the reverse order of what Hobbs did, because I think Hobbs kind of tied in with the West Texas area a little bit more.
Right.
And so they established the service because, hey, you guys are coming out here to New Mexico, you're drilling in Lee County. This is the role we need to play. Whereas a few years ago when we started this, some of the companies, they were flying their jets straight over here from Houston to Carlsbad and setting up shop. And so now we've got Crestwood, which is a merger of Crestwood and Sendero Midstream, which was a well-known company in this area. And so they're huge now. Yeah, I mean, they're probably as big of an employer as anyone. So.
Right. So we have a moderated panel discussion by Alan Davis, the Eddy County manager, correct?
Oh, yeah. And, Alan Davis is probably as knowledgeable as anybody. He spent, I don't know how many decades with Chevron.
Exactly.
And he was, Chevron, when there was a new facility to be open or something, they sent him around the world. In fact, I think, and I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but I think Al first came here with Chevron after opening the plant and operating the plant down in Australia. And then he came here, got him worked here on some stuff, and then he retired, and the county was smart enough to hire him, the county manager. So he's going to be our moderator. He's going to have Brian McGowan. He's the Permian Development Manager for XTO, another big energy partner. John Raines, Vice President of Delaware Basin Unit of Devon Energy. Aaron Hunter, Vice President, Delaware Basin, ConocoPhillips, and Brittany Steele, Subsurface Characterization Manager, New Mexico Occidental Petroleum Corporation, which is also known as Oxy. Yeah. I'm not sure what she actually does, but that'll be interesting to hear.
I was going to say that's one heck of a title, but I imagine it's quite important.
Yeah, I imagine so. Then right after that, the future of the Delaware Basin, an overview. And this is the chief economist for Chevron Strategy and Sustainability Department. And Robert G.
That's up to him.
Yeah, come on, Johnny, help us out here.
All right. Robert G. Schweiers Jr.
Schweiers Jr. Okay, I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I was. If it's wrong, he can call me.
I think we just got his name recently from Chevron.
Okay.
And that's a massive one. I mean, this isn't a regional speaker. This is a gentleman who that title. We've all got titles, and sometimes it's hard to tell. But that title is with Chevron Global.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like a global title, right?
There's one of those for Chevron, and it's that guy.
And I actually think that'd be, out of all the speakers, I think it'll be really interesting to learn more about the industry, the future of it. But I feel like this speaker right here is going to be real key as well, because there's this false narrative floating around that the industry is not about sustainability, that they're not about the environment, and that they just don't seem to care at all. And that's a false narrative, that you get in a lot of bigger liberal elite cities, I suppose, as you could say. And that's just not the case.
No, it's not. And he is going to be a key speaker because, the oil and gas industry is up and down. And so everyone's wondering right now, well, how long is this going to last? And I'm hearing it's going to be a few years. So even with the economy like it is and everything going up, these companies, and that's what this is for. We're going to hear what they're doing. If they're investing in their company and in this region, they don't throw money away. They're doing it because they've done their homework and they pretty much know what's going to happen here in the future, at least.
Right, so. Absolutely. For sure. And then we have a special lunchtime speaker who I have a really great connection with. But why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
We're so excited. I don't know who came up with that idea.
That's the mayor. The mayor's wanted him to come for several years.
We have Mr. Steve Stucker, weatherman Steve Stucker. And if you're watching the Balloon Fiesta, he's out there in his coat and badges and hat. And I've seen him speak before. He's exciting. He's motivating. He's funny. And we're pretty excited that we got the school district involved, and we asked them if they wanted to bring some kids on stage to ask the questions.
All right.
And I think they had a ton of kids sign up.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a bigger stage because I think they've got like 9 kids, so we're going to cram them up there. But yeah, it's a combination. There's some interested in kind of meteorology, but then there's a lot interested in TV reporting and things like that.
Right,
and
right.
So yeah, and I just want to say, and this is credit to you guys as well. Danny and I have dealt with different celebrities before, and there's a big spectrum on what a pain in the rear they are. And Steve is by the easiest person we've ever dealt with. Just couldn't be better. The part he plays on TV is exactly in line with the kind of person he is, based on my experiences.
Yeah, Steve Stucker is a very influential person in New Mexico. He's been on KOB4 in the mornings for well over 30 years. Full disclosure, he's also a pastor, and he married my wife and I.
Oh, wow.
Right, yeah. So but that was really great. He has a nonprofit charity called Beds for Kids that operates primarily in Albuquerque, and their goal is to make sure that families have beds to sleep in, because you'd be surprised about how many that don't, right?
And I guess he doesn't do it anymore, but he's a heck of a dog trainer.
Yeah, well, every Friday morning he's got all his dogs on there for sure. He's a big dog as well, and he's also a beekeeper.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. He's also a beekeeper, and he's a real dynamic speaker. So even though I would say that Steve Stucker probably doesn't have a lot of knowledge about the oil and gas industry in general, neither did Tony Dorsett.
No,
right,
exactly.
And so, but he can speak to life, overcoming adversity, being a leader in your community, helping your community. I think there's a lot that people can learn. And some of the heads of the industry may have never heard of him, but they'll definitely remember him and know who he is when they're done.
Well, and just bringing people together. A few years ago, we had a Democrat governor and a Republican governor both standing up there giving awards to oil field guys, blue-collar oil field guys. And I think that's one of the things this event is about, too, is, this is not a political event. It's not a rally on either side. It's a chance for everybody to talk together. And I think Mr. Stucker represents that attitude very well.
Yeah, I would agree completely. And I've known him for many, many years. So that is your lineup on October 20th. Well, 8:30. Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
well, I got it. The meat of the whole thing is actually our ribeye steak lunch.
All right.
And come on out. It's free.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to.
Ballards cook it. It's one of the best ribeyes you'll ever eat.
No, that's incredible.
And just to give you a behind-the-scenes look, the longest debate we have had this year at our planning meetings was about what kind of knives we were going to have at that lunch.
So it is a ribeye. I mean, you're going to have. I mean, they'll be tender. Maybe everybody just needs butter knives. They'll probably be that great.
Well, we got better knives this year than we did last year.
Yeah, but it's really good. So
October 20th, Walter Gerald's Performing Arts Center Annex, 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Everybody is welcome. Kyle, I wanted to get into the awards. You mentioned the awards. Let's segue into the awards. A lot of this is obviously about the future of the oil industry, the future of the economic impact for our community, but we also recognize a lot of individuals, and we recognize them based on safety.
Well, it's called the Spirit of the Oilfield Awards, and the categories are safety, community involvement, dedication, things like that. We just closed our nominating process. Our committee is actually looking at those right now. We are planning to honor them probably at a different thing because, to be blunt, those guys have to go out and work in the oil field during the day. Right. So we're gonna come up with a time to honor them at a different time.
But they'll be recognized to some degree at the actual event. That day,
we'll go over their names, and then we do have. Like you said, we've got 25, we call them vendor booths. I think exhibit booths is probably the better term. And it's a combination of some of the companies, some local nonprofits. The bigger companies usually don't set stuff up, but a lot of the service companies, it's a good chance for them to get pens out, get word out about what they're doing and everything. And then, of course, some of the nonprofits, the United Way, Boys and Girls Club, et cetera, they're well aware these companies are coming in, so they're working with some of them, but they're always looking for some chances to make contact with some new people who might help them. So this is a great event for some of our local nonprofits as well.
And I was also looking on the website. I want to make sure that I was looking at the correct website. We also do scholarships as a result of this?
We do not. The Carlsbad Community Foundation, I would like to plug them, has been just awesome. They are kind of hosting as our fiscal partner, and so when our sponsors make donations, because it is an educational event, they go through the foundation. Additionally, the foundation has generously provided us with the web page space, and so they poor Mike Anaporta over there, here's for me, I'll send him, hey, here's our new agenda, here's our new sponsor list, and then about 30 seconds later, oh, sorry, Mike, I got a new agenda and a sponsor list for you. So they've been great to work with. They do a number of scholarships. One thing they sometimes do at the summit itself is that they go around and they do a drawing for local people where instead of winning a grill, which we have some other drawings, they do a drawing where if you win, you can pick a charity to support. And so they've done that some years. I'm not 100% sure if they're going to do that this year, but the foundation's been great to work with, and they've been so supportive of this event.
And of course, when you show up, the event starts at 8 a.m., but the doors will be open at least by 7, probably. We got McDonald's there. They're going to have coffee and some goodies to eat. So, again, all free.
I love McDonald's breakfast, by the way.
So come have a sandwich and a coffee with us before it starts.
And then, just like you said, the community partners, the Chamber Ambassadors is another phenomenal organization. They help us to kind of be welcoming. Somebody needs to know where the bathroom is when people come, where can I sit? And so just to have some people who are intelligent, kind of literally ambassadors. They're the ones, hey, I just can't flew in from Dallas. What do I do? We have challenges sometimes. Carlsbad doesn't have a big Uber Lyft scene. I spent an hour on the phone with different people coming in yesterday saying, when you come in, make sure you either rent a car, or you have somebody at your company to ride you or something, because if you're from a big city right now, you come and say, oh, I'll take an Uber. Well, right. No, you won't. So I think it's good, again, getting people to see what life in a town our size is like instead of life in a metropolitan area. So
I think people from larger cities will take some things for granted, but personally, I've lived here for approximately a year now, and I appreciate the fact that I'm not in a larger city.
Right. There's advantages and disadvantages.
Right. I actually appreciate it a lot. I don't really feel like Carlsbad's a small town, but I will say that
it's not a small town. No,
not at all. But I appreciate some of it's local is what I really appreciate the most.
Yeah. I hope we were always at a point where when we get a new fast food restaurant, it's news. And I love that. I love when hey, we're getting and I think that's cool. I hope that never changes.
Right, absolutely. So, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Danny, why don't you wrap this up for us and let us finish this up for us. Let us know what we should be doing. Let's hit the key points again.
Well, again, on October 20th, starts at 8 a.m. It's going to go to 1:30.
Free to everybody.
Free to everybody.
So real quick, I'm going to sidetrack you. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you here. How do you plan for ribeye dinners or ribeye lunches when you don't even know how many people from the community are going to show up?
Exactly. That's pretty tough.
You have 2 weeks of anxiety attacks.
Yes. Kyle and I stressed a little bit about that, especially Kyle. Kyle, I don't want to embarrass him, but he's the workhorse.
Okay.
He is. I don't know how he coordinates things and keeps up with everything, besides doing the rest of his city work, too.
Right.
So, we kind of take a shot at it. We're watching people that have registered prior and other years, and we try to do the best guesstimate we can.
Okay. So nobody has to register to show up. You're a member of the public. You just show up.
Right. Yeah. Just show up. But again, we go from years past and look at our lineup and see what's going to happen. Hopefully, we're close.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Well, I imagine you'll be just fine. So go ahead and continue us on in closing.
And again, we got a great opening ceremony. So we got a couple of industry panels. We have industry speakers. We have chief operating officers, CEOs. We have a speaker from Chevron that travels around the world. He knows what's going on. And again, it's educational. If you want to come and find out what's happening in the oil and gas energy industry, is it going to be sustainable? Is it still going to be around next year, 5 years from now? I can't tell you. Kyle can't tell you. But these people, this energy, they can give you a better idea of what's going on. And that's what it's about. So if you're in business or you're working for a company that's an energy company or something associated with an energy company, or you're doing a business and wants to see if Carlsbad is going to keep growing like it is, this is the place to find out right here.
Right. The Permian Basin, the heart of domestic production. That is the name of the summit this year.
That's the theme.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Well, very important. I will be there. A lot of members of the community will be there. It's important to our community as well. Thank you, Danny Fletcher, for being on.
Thank you, Johnny.
Kyle Marksteiner, thank you for being on,
Thanks
sir.
for having us.
And the mayor had to run. He's a very important individual, but thank you for the mayor for coming on as well.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you.
You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889.